What's going on, guys? So I asked a question in the Discord, and by the way, if you guys are watching this either through the Gen Chat video that I'm going to be posting in Discord, and you're not a gold member, or maybe you came across this video on YouTube and you kind of don't know who I am. First off, my name is D. Anthony. I'm a full-time options day trader slash scalper, whatever you want to call it. Basically sit here, look at a bunch of red and green bars, click a couple buttons on the mouse, and that's it, right? So it sounds a lot simpler than what it is, but obviously, I've been doing this for quite some time now, 6 years and going on 4 years full time. So with that being said, I've seen a lot of different market cycles. I've been a part of bear market, been a part of a bull market, seen a lot of nasty distribution, sideways market. Now, I haven't traded through the 2008, obviously, whole real estate crisis market crash. I didn't trade through the dot-com bubble. So yes, those technically are true bear markets, right? We've had little bear sell cycle markets. I've been a part of those, but as far as like seeing a full-on blown out 2.5 year just downward cycle where we can't catch an uptick, I have not been a part of one of those markets. So I just want to be completely honest and transparent. For the most part of my trading career, let's call an ace, a spade a spade, we've had a fantastic bull market, right? So even to start this year, 2022, market's been down a little bit for the first couple of months, but it's not like we can't make money buying put options, right? It's not like we can't make money shorting stock, right? I mean, we can still make money on either side of the market. It's just because, over the market history of the stock market, predominantly you are taught to, buy, hold, invest. Things are going higher. Things will always go higher. This is to the moon. This is to Pluto, whatever, right? So, you kind of get conditioned to kind of constantly think that things are going to go higher. So when you do get into those little bit more choppier environments or more sell-sided environments, you kind of get flustered and you kind of like boggle down, right? Like, so you get a little confused. With that being said, kind of getting off topic here, but one of the questions that I had asked in Discord was, I asked a couple of questions. What is one of the biggest problems that you have when it comes to trading? And I also asked, like, if you could make a certain dollar amount consistently, what would that dollar amount be? And the dollar amounts that got thrown around is, $150 a day, $400 a day, something like that. So I'll just keep it very, very general. And I'll say just if you want to make $150 to $400 a day, is that possible? The quick and easy answer is yes. There's people who make thousands and thousands of dollars each and every single day. And there's hedge funds, institutional traders that, make hundreds of thousands of dollars a day trading. So what it really boils down to, and I'll be very, very honest, because there's going to be people that come across this video that are going to say, well, if it was that easy to just make $100 a day or make $400 a day, why can't everyone do it? Why can't you just, if you can make $400 a day, why can't you make $800 a day? Or why can't you make $1,000 a day every day out of the week, right? And the simple answer to that is each and every single day the market is changing. The market does what the market wants to do. So I'll speak from my experience. Have I had $400 days? Absolutely. Have I had $150 days? Absolutely. Have I made $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in a day? Absolutely. But have I also taken days where I've lost $500? 100%. Have I taken days where I've lost a couple of $100, broke even maybe? Absolutely. So, the difference between having, let's say, a career, maybe you're on salary or even hourly, and let's say you work a regular 9 to 5, that when you show up to work that day and you work X amount of hours, you're going to get paid X amount of dollars. And the thing with trading, which is also the beautiful thing of trading, is that we don't need to sit here for 8 hours and trade all day, right? We can take one trade that maybe lasts 1 hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and we can make a whole day's worth of work, right? But then there's also those days where you can't seem to get anything going and the market is not working with you. The market's a little bit more choppy. Maybe we're going through, some outside catalysts, some geopolitical news, maybe some sort of black swan event, maybe just, something with the Fed. And it's not that easy to make money, right? Consistently on a day-to-day basis. So the question is, it's very, very confusing when you start getting into the actual numbers, because I think that when you do start preaching to people that, hey, you know what, you can make $150 a day consistently, the first thing that, our minds as human beings gravitate towards is, well, I can do this every single day. And one thing that I do want to make clear is that it won't be every day. The numbers will vary. Some days you might have an $800 day, and some days you might have $100 day. Some days you might lose, 2 or 3 trades and be down $300, but the next day you come back and you make $1,000. So what we really have to look at is like a week by week number and a monthly number, right? So if you want to make, let's say, $150 a day, right? And if I just kind of pull out my calculator and I'll just give a rough estimate, 20 trading days in a month, right? We'll just, give or take, depending on holidays and so forth. But let's just say 20 days where there's 5 trading days in a week, assuming that every single day is open. We obviously do not trade on the weekends. So let's say you want to make $150 a day, and we'll times that times 20 days out of the month. That's $3,000, right? That's an average of $150 a day. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is that if, let's say, you traded for 1 week and I'll use this current market environment, for the past 10 days, the market has been on fire, right? We can't seem to catch a downtick. Let's say for the last 10 days, you made $3,000, because I will say, and there's someone in the Discord, and they can go ahead and, if they would like to, comment down below in the video. And if they're listening, they will know who exactly they're talking about. But they've made over $3,500 in the past 2 weeks, a little under 2 weeks, right? So if your goal is to make $150 a day average, and you make $3,000 in 10 days, can you, right? Not should you, but can you turn it down? Meaning, can you walk away, take the next week, 2 weeks off, come back next month, right? Because if you want to make $150 a day and you're currently sitting at $3,000 or $3,500 a day, then technically you don't need to trade anymore, right? Why would you want to risk losing any one of those $3,500 that you've made, potentially in taking a bad trade or getting trapped in a bad play on a bad market day, and kind of giving away those gains, right? So the big question that, you need to ask yourself first, if you do want to make, and again, I'll use the same number that was thrown out in Discord, anywhere from $150 a day to $400 a day, is that if you get into a market cycle for 1 or 2 weeks where the market is just absolutely hot, and you're hitting play after play after play, and let's say you meet your goal for the month, are you okay with turning it down? Or are you somebody that has so much FOMO and so much anxiety and excitement when it comes to trading that you're going to continue to trade each and every single day and look for every play, right? And if you can't turn it down or know when to stop, then you almost get into a cycle where you are some sort of like, you have some sort of addiction to the market. No one should ever be addicted to the market. No one should ever feel FOMO. No one should ever feel anxiety. No one should ever be, super ecstatic come Mondays, right? I always hear a lot of traders, they can't wait for the weekend to be over to get back to Monday. And it's like, the more I hear that, it's like, come Tuesday, Wednesday, the majority of those traders burnt themselves out on Monday, either over trading, forcing trades, looking for something that wasn't there, just because they were overzealous and too excited about coming into the market on Monday to trade. Sometimes when people ask me, outside of the trading world, do I look forward to Mondays? And it's like, it is what it is, right? I mean, for me, every day is a Monday, every day is a Friday, every day is a Wednesday. It's just another day. It's really, there's no difference between a Monday and a Friday. There's no difference between a Wednesday and a Thursday when it comes to trading, right? When it comes to trading. Now, obviously, in your personal life, obviously there's different things, that kind of weigh into that. But, just to kind of keep this video in line with the topic, the first things first, if you do want to make $150 to $400 a day trading in a market, and especially if you want to day trade options, you better be comfortable hitting that sell button. And what that means is that if you do enter into a play, especially trading options, and that play does work against you, and you have a strategy, right? You have an edge, and you have a problem with hitting that sell button, you will destroy yourself. You will chop yourself up. You will lose tremendous amounts of money in the market. Now, will you hit some some good trades? Will you hit some home runs along the way? Of course, right? It's trading. You're never going to lose every single trade, just like you're never going to win every single trade. But if you do not know how to hit the sell button when it's time to hit the sell button, you will completely destroy yourself in this profession. So first things first is you need to have a strategy. If you are an evolution trader, you guys are part of the Discord. You guys know my strategy. You guys have paid money. You guys have bought the course. You guys have studied the video libraries. You guys have either spoken with me one-on-one through voice calls so I can kind of help you and guide you guys through it, or you guys have asked enough questions to have a good understanding and taken enough trades to have a good understanding of how to do it. For everyone else out there that's watching this video, if you guys do not have a strategy, that's the first thing that you're going to need to learn. You're going to need to learn price action. You're going to need to learn market structure, and you are going to need to learn a strategy. And a strategy has to be systematic. It can't just be like, you guys are looking for the bull flag breakout. You guys are looking for a head and shoulders pattern. That's not going to get you anywhere, right? You have to understand price action. You have to understand supply and demand, and you have to have a real strategy. A real strategy is going to give you 100% always a clear indication of when to enter a trade. And a true strategy will always 100% give you a clear indicator on when to exit the play. The thing that a lot of traders have is that, they have an idea of how to trade. They have an idea of how to use moving averages or indicators, or, the MACD or the VWAP or the RSI. You guys have an idea, but you have no systematic strategy, meaning that you enter trades, and when the trades do go against you, you hold too long because you don't know when to get out of them. So the first things first is, do you have a strategy? Okay, that's the first thing. If you have a strategy, you're well on your way to making $150 to $400 a day. Now, 2, can you hit the sell button when your strategy fails you? Because every strategy will fail you, right? Can you hit the sell button? Okay, that's step 2. If you cannot, and you are still constantly holding when you shouldn't, and you shouldn't, you are not ready to make $150 a day. You are not ready to make $400 a day. You are not ready to make $1,000 a day. Until you are numb, immune, and can hit the sell button and say, I accept the loss. The market got the best of me. I'll look for another trade. Until you can do that, you are not ready to be consistently profitable more days out of the month than you are negative. Okay. Now getting into the nitty gritty and the numbers and what it's going to take to make that $150 to $400 a day. Everyone's situation is going to be different. Everyone's risk tolerance is going to be a lot different. Some people want to grow an account nice and slow by trading. Some people are more aggressive and want to use bigger sizing to grow their account. And, some people have no idea what they want to do. Sometimes they're playing with $5,000 and sometimes you're playing with $500. So the third thing I'm going to tell you is your position sizing is key. Your position sizing is everything. If you're new, I would not risk, telling someone to go buy 10, 15, 20 contracts, right? If you win, you're going to win a shit ton, of course. But if you lose, you're also going to lose a shit ton. So I would recommend in the beginning that your position sizing is key. And with your position sizing, you need to make sure and understand what you are willing to risk, And that doesn't mean that if you buy $1,000 worth of contracts that you're willing to risk $1,000. So even for me, if I was to buy, let's say 5 contracts or 4 contracts of Apple, at like $150 a piece, and let's say it's close to like $700, $800, I'm not willing to risk $800. I'm not going to risk having that position go to zero. I might lose $100. I might lose 200. I have a system and a strategy in place that it's not going to allow me to lose the full $800 that I invested. It will never allow me to lose that much. So regardless if I'm playing with $800 or $8,000, I know that I will never lose that entire amount because my system and my strategy is not going to allow me to lose that much. I will have a clear indication that the trade is now going against me and that I need to exit the trade before it ever comes into play that I'm going to lose, 60, 70, 80% of that premium. So with that being said, just to kind of give you guys some ballpark numbers, If you want to make closer to like that $100 to $200 range, I'll just be really, really honest. You need to at least play with $1,500 to $2,000, right? $1,500 to $2,000. And the reason being is that if you really want to be consistent, then you're not looking to make 100% gains. You're not looking to have a 200% winner. I see on social media all the time, especially from all these, glitzy and glamorous, Twitter traders and stock twit traders and people on Reddit or YouTube. They're calling out 180% gainers, or they called out a play that's 250%. That all sounds nice, but how many times can you do it? Right? How many times can you do it before, you're sitting in one of those plays and you're down 80%, right? You're not going to consistently win 100%. You're not going to consistently take home 250% winners. Now, do they happen? 100% they do. You will get those plays where you're up 50, 60, 70, 80%. Those plays do happen, especially if you have a good strategy, but I would not count on it, and I would not try to, sit there and make $400 a day every day by trying to, make sure that I hit an 80%, 80% trade. So what I'm going to tell you is get comfortable with the number 10 and 20. Get comfortable with 10%. Get comfortable with 20%. What does that mean? If you're trading options and your options contracts for what you have invested into the premium is up 10%, sell it. Okay. So here's how you're going to make $150 a day average over the course of a month's trading, right? Some days, again, like I said, some days will be more, some days will be less, but an average of around $150 a day, or let's say, I'll get to the $400 in a day in a minute, but let's say you want to make $100 to $150 a day. Get comfortable with the 10%. If you enter into a play and you make 10%, sell. Now, how many contracts are you going to need to buy? Going to be completely different. Every stock price, their premiums are different. The IV is different. It just depends on, what day of the week it is. Obviously, contracts on a Monday are going to be far more expensive than a contract on a Friday, right? So here's how I would size my positioning is, if you're playing a stock like, let's say, Apple, and their contracts are trading between $120 and $200 each, I would buy at least 4 contracts to 5 contracts of Apple. That's going to put you right around the $800 to $1,200 range. If you want to make $100 consistently throughout the course of a month, and again, don't quote me on saying that you're going to make this every single day, because it's not going to happen. What we're looking at here is a weekly average and a monthly average. If we can average $150 a day, but maybe it only came on like 4, 5, 6 trading days out of the month, that's still okay, right? Because it's an average of around $150 a month. You're going to need to get comfortable with going in with at least $1,000 to $1,200 if you want to make 10%, which is $100, right? So if I put in $1,000 and I have let's say 5 or 6 contracts of Apple, and it goes up 10%, I will be that premium will be worth around $100 in profits. You have to be okay with selling those at $100 for 10% profit. Now, the reason why I'm going to say this, not to hold, is because if you cannot be consistent mentally, right? And this goes for the beginning of your journey, the beginning of your career. If you cannot take a setup, see a setup, make 10% and cash out, you're going to have a problem with overholding. You're going to have a problem with greed, and you're going to have a problem with pullbacks or bounces that are going to trap you and or cause your green position to go red because you're looking for a higher dollar amount. So I would say for at least 20 to 25, 30 trades, I would take the setup using your strategy. I would look for a 10% win rate on $1,000 invested, right? So whether that be 1 Tesla contract on a Thursday or whether that be 6 AMD contracts on a Tuesday, doesn't matter. If you put in $1,000 in those contracts and make 10%, you sell. Now, if you can't make 10%, there's no trade. So what that means for me is that I'm going to hold those contracts until I get 10%, bare minimum. It's 10% or nothing, right? So I'm not going to buy $1,000 worth of premium and look to sell at 3%. I'm not going to sell at $30. It's not worth it. I'd rather just stop out on this trade, just get stopped out and lose the trade for, small loss than, try to take $30 that's not going to work, right? Get consistent with taking 10% profits. And then when you get consistent scaling out your full position at 10% and you're comfortable with that, I would look to if you take 5 contracts of Apple or AMD, I would look to take 3 contracts at 10% and hold the next 2 for 20. And if you can get 20% on the next 2, sell. I would do this another 20 times. Take 5 contracts of Apple or AMD. I'm just using them as an example. Take 5 contracts of Apple or AMD, using between $1,000 to $1,500 worth of your money to buy those contracts. As soon as you get to 10%, sell 2 or 3 of them. If the trade continues to work in your favor on those last 2 and they hit 20% in profit, I would sell them there or break even, stop them, meaning that you took 10% on 3 contracts and those last 2, you're going to ride them to 20% or break even. And what break even means is that if those contracts, let's say, are up $60 and then they slowly start coming back down and it hits 0, -10, just sell it, like lose a cup of coffee on it, right? But you at least profited off the first 3 contracts, the 10%. So you're still coming out of that trade profitable. That's how I would work that next group of trades. If you want to make something, and I'll just use the scenario for the $400, right? If you want to make $400 a day, you're going to need to at least play with between $3,000 and $4,000 a play. Now, this can be split up differently. You can take 4 trades, invest $1,000 each. So example, I can take 4 Apple contracts that cost me $1,000 on one play. I can take 4 AMD contracts that cost me $1,000 on another play. And I can take, let's say 6 or 7 Microsoft contracts on a third play. Those 3 trades are going to total up between $3,000 and $4,000. And what you're looking for on that is you're looking for 10%. You're still looking for 10% on your Apple trade. You're still looking for 10% on your AMD trade. You're still looking for 10% on your Microsoft trade. Now, here's where it gets a little bit more easier, right? I'll give you an example. The chart we're looking at here is NVIDIA. Take a look at this time here. One second. Take a look at this time here on Pacific Standard Time. If we take a look at this 950 trade, obviously, if you guys are in the Discord, you guys already know my strategy. 950 would have been our trade here. 955 was our confirmation. We could enter this trade on NVIDIA at 275, and this trade ran up before it even got a little bit hairy on us. I mean, it didn't, right? We got in, we tested the 21 time, and then we continued to ride. Obviously, we're never going to catch the whole move. Let's say we got in at 276 and we sold at, let's say, I don't know, somewhere here, right? 279. Obviously, we missed the rest of the run. So 276 to 279, we made about $3 on this contract. I guarantee you, bet your ass that you would have made 20%, 25%, 30% on those options contracts, right? So what I'm telling you guys to take the 10%, that 10% will happen probably right here, right? The 10% between where your entry is here, it will probably be happening here. On this candle, you get that 10%. And, if you're comfortable, you sell 2 or 3 contracts here, you kind of hold it, you respect your risk management, you respect your strategy. And then when it goes up another 5, 10%, you sell more. And then it goes up another 5, 10%, you sell another one, right? So you can squeeze out definitely more than 10%, more than 20% if the trade is working in your favor. And that's something that experience and screen time are going to, play a big part in, because obviously in the beginning, I wouldn't recommend you trying to get this big of a gain. I would just recommend you get in here, sell here for 10%, get in here, sell here for 10%, get in here, sell here for 12, 13%, right? If you can consistently take $1,000 and sell for 10%, you will make $100 a day. Average. If you can consistently take $2,000 worth of options contracts, whether you want to split it between 2 plays, whether you want to split it between 3 plays, whether you want to just put $2,000 all in Apple, meaning you want to buy 10 contracts of Apple, you're just looking for that 10%, that's $200, guys. $200. If you take, let's say 4 contracts probably, or 3 contracts of NVIDIA, it'd probably be around $2,000, $3,000 on a Monday, and you get the 10 to 20%, guys. I mean, just do the math. It's very, very simple math. $1,000 worth of options contracts on a 10% move is $100. So if you invest $2,000 in options contracts and you get the 10%, that's $200. If you invest 3,000, that's $300. So as of right now, I'm not betting crazy. I do not play, $20,000 a hand. I don't play $15,000 a hand. I typically stay in the range of between 2,500 and like 6,500, 7,500 on average, depending if I'm playing Amazon and depending on what the options contract costs. Maybe, I might buy one or two Amazons, but that's sufficient because I have a strategy and I know that if I do play Amazon and let's say the contract costs $5,000 and I get a 20% mover on $5,000, guys, I'm more than happy with that because I know that I can hit those 10, 15, 20% winners over and over and over and over and over again. The person who loses in this game over the long term is to someone who puts $5,000 in an Amazon contract and they want 100% gain. They want 60% gain. They want 70% gain. They want to put $5,000 in Amazon and they want to make 3,000. They put $5,000 in Amazon. They want to make 2,500. For me, I want to put $5,000 in Amazon and make 500. I want to put $5,000 in Amazon and make 750. I want to put $5,000 in Amazon and make 600. So if you kind of look at the percentages, I want to make that 10, 15, 20% on Amazon. If I play Apple and I'm looking for a 10 to 15, 20% winner, well, then I want to buy 10 contracts of Apple. And let's say 10 contracts of Apple are going to cost me, somewhere in the rounds of around $1,500 to $2,000, give or take what day it is. Then I know that I'm looking for like a $150 to like $300 winner on Amazon. So if your goal is to make $150 to $400 a day, you need to position size correctly, meaning that you can't just spend $500 and expect to make $150 a day. You can't buy, let's say, one NVIDIA contract, right? And let's say one NVIDIA contract costs $600 on a Thursday, right? Let's say one NVIDIA contract costs $600 on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and expect to make $500. That's not being realistic. That's not being consistent. You will never be consistent wanting to put in, $200 and buy two Apple contracts and make $200. It's not realistic. If you buy one contract of Apple, I would be looking to make $25, $30. I would be looking to make, $15, so if I want to make $150 off an Apple play, I want to buy 10 contracts, right? I only want it to move 10 to 15%. That's it. Whether it runs farther than that, that's okay. That's not my money because I know I can consistently take those 10 to 15, 20, 25% winners sprinkled in by holding runners to inch out that 30% or 60% winner. Or for example, a play like this where you enter here at 9:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and it kind of just goes. And it goes, and it goes, and it goes, right? You get those plays. So if you want to make $100 to $400 consistently, it's all about position sizing. But what's more important is the psychology. Can you successfully find entries? And can you successfully hit the sell button? Can you successfully hit the sell button when your trade moves against you and your setup fails? Can you hit the sell button? If you can do that, you're already one step closer. Can you take 10 contracts of Apple that cost $2,000 and sell at 10% gains on those option contracts? If you're okay with doing that, you're one step closer, right? Because if we go and take 10 contracts, and I'll just end with this, if we take 10 contracts of Apple and it cost us $2,000 for those contracts and we get 10%, well, that's $200, guys. That's $200 on $2,000 worth of investment. If that's a goal that you're looking for, then just understand it's going to cost around $2,000, $2,500 to make that money. That money can be done, but you also have to have the discipline to be able to sell at that amount. And also, you will have days where you do lose. You will have days where the market is choppy. You will have days where the market does pull back on you. You will have days where it feels like you can't get anything going. Those days will always be there. But when you start to build a cushion and you start to pad your P&L and you're working off one good week and then you have another solid week and maybe you take a few days where you have a string of red trades, it's okay because you have that cushion. You come back in with a fresh mind. You look for that 10, 15, 20%. I like to tell a lot of the guys on Discord, 20% or no trade, right? Like, I mean, 10% is good. And definitely if you're starting and you're barely just learning a strategy, or maybe you just jumped on my strategy, take 10 to 15, 20%. I would say, scale out at 10%, scale out at 15, scale out at 20, boom, cut it. Move on, look for the next trade. Myself personally, that 15 to 25% is my sweet spot. Doesn't sound luxurious. It doesn't sound, fancy. You're not going to see me on Twitter posting up $50,000 worth of gains in a day. That's not me, and that's not my strategy. But if I can make $500 to $2,000 a day, more days than I lose, I am completely happy with that, because you will trickle in those $3,000 days. You will trickle in that $1,500 day. You will trickle in that big $5,000 day, right? If you can consistently make 10 to 25%, you will be on the right path. Guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you like these kind of videos and you want more videos where I'm kind of just, talking strategy and talking psychology, definitely subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. That link is down in the description box below, and I will see you guys all on the next video.